Hello, everybody. This is Eric Erdman, and you are listening to Dealing the Mobile Sound, the podcast where we focus on the Mobile, Alabama area music scene. And we are coming to you from the legendary Callahan's. Lynn Olshu and I decided to broadcast from Callahan's because it's been such a crucial part of the Mobile area music scene for so long. And today I'm excited to have one of my favorite singer-songwriters anywhere. He has this unique ability to jump styles and blend styles between island music and 70s acoustic music and rock and roll and everything in between. And he's been an inspiration for me since I started playing. One of my favorite people, my brother in music, Mr. Ryan Balthrop. How you doing, man?
What's up, Eric? Lynn, how y'all doing? Good to see y'all.
Yeah, man. Before we dig too deep, which we will, we're going to see, what it was like for you coming up in the mobile music scene, where you see it going, how's the current state of affairs. But before we get to that, I want to explain the kind of outline of what we're doing today. We're in the green room of Callahan's, and Lynn and I were discussing this podcast. We were sitting around this poker table, which they have in the green room, and we were like, well, if we're going to be sitting around a poker table over and over, let's make a metaphorical poker game out of the interview. So that's what we're going to do. And as you would do in a poker game, we're going to start off with anteing up. So can you tell us about when you first, put your chips in behind yourself in the music industry?
Our first gig was with Drinkers and Dreamers. That became Cold Water Flat and then became Slow Moses. And that was March 31st and April 1st, 1994 at the Sundowner Lounge. And John Milham, who's, great member of our music community, he's the one that got me into music. He brought some guys out to, we were Kappa Sigs, and he was a pledge, and he brought some guys over to the house and did a little audition, and that was it. He's the one that got me into this.
Very
so
cool.
You can thank or blame Milham.
Not at all to in any way make this interview about me, but the first real live music I had seen where it wasn't like with my parents and going out to some big concert, or maybe I went to some with my buddies in high school, but like the first one that really meant something to me was I got snuck in to Southside Music Hall and saw Slow Moses, and I was like, I had already been playing music for a while, but that was when I was like, oh man, this is different. This whatever that is, I want to do that. So
it's been all downhill since then.
Hardly, and we're going to talk about that. So when you're at the Sundowner with Milham, and tell me about it. Like, how was the scene then compared to now? Like, were there as many venues, and how was the crowd response?
That was right when downtown started to happen right then, and but our first gig was there on Old Shell Road, Sundowner Lounge, which is now like a Mexican restaurant. They sold out all the beer that first weekend.
Oh, and, so I would call that a success.
It was completely packed, and then we had one of our Kappa Sig pledges working the door, and he let everybody in.
I was going to say, so you made $38.
So we made like $13 a piece. It was packed. They ran out of beer. It was pretty funny, but needless to say, we didn't have him back to work the door.
Yeah, but what a show for your first show.
Yeah, it was
people
cool.
Would die for that, right?
South Alabama, University of South Alabama crowd, and
so what part of town?
Dollar Natural Lights.
Was it downtown?
No, it was Old Shell Road, right by Faubacher's.
Oh, cool. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
And we had a good run, 5 years, and then
Cold Water Flat.
And then, we had started as Drinkers and Dreamers. Ben Tenenfeld, who quit.
Yeah.
He left Harry Maru to start this band, and he got John Milham and Philip Stein, who he went to high school with, and Philip's
I recognize
producer of
all
Brad
those
Paisley and Darius Rucker and a bunch of people now. But I'm still here. Yeah,
man. No, but I remember that was basically the lineup that I saw with Slow Moses. It was Molly, Philip, Ben,
Yep.
Tracy.
Yep, and Molly was in a band with my big brother Pascal at Hattiesburg, the Picardy Three. It was her and a viola player and my brother Pascal, and really cool folk band with like a string section.
Cool.
And then she moved down and joined our band, and then we became Coldwater Flat, and then we got called by Atlantic Records saying we had to cease and desist
because
they had a band from Boston called Coldwater Flat that went on VH1 120 minutes or whatever, and
Yeah.
just enough to mess us up. And then we had pissed off frat boys around the Southeast for about a year going, "Hey, I bought your CD, man. It doesn't sound anything like you." We're like, "That's why we're Slow Moses now."
Oh, yeah, gotcha. I had no idea of that. But you know what? In a very weird way, you had to have been big enough for whatever VH1 or whatever record label called with a cease and desist. So there's a little bit of glory in that.
I mean, funny. I was like, "Atlantic Records, yeah, how you doing?"
Yeah, about that.
Okay, not the call I was hoping for.
Yeah, but okay. So with the start in that band and a very successful band around the Southeast and beyond. For those of you that don't know, go listen to the correct Coldwater Flat and Slow Moses. But
the album's online. No one in the band knows who put it up there. Like you can buy it for like $6.99. The album.
I would say that don't go get it because the money's going to not the band, but there's no money coming off of that anyway. Let's be real. Just buy one of the members of the band, drink, and call it even. So after that, you have done many albums and become a serious staple here in the mobile music scene. I know that it wouldn't be the same, without a Ryan Balthrop. So, like, what was the process of going from band to switching to doing your solo stuff, and stylistically, and just like
I think it's just my ability to piss off other musicians. No, it's
okay,
just,
not how did you become a solo musician, but like when you went from there to decide to do your own stuff. Did you search stylistically, or did it naturally just like that's what you had been wanting to do? Previously?
Well, bands are hard. Yep. I mean, it's a 4, 5, 6-way marriage,
yep.
And God bless Molly Thomas, because I'm looking back on what she had to deal with being on the road with 6 guys back then, God. And the way I was just jackass, and just being a rock and roll star,
right?
And it's just I have much more respect for Molly, just looking back on that. But I'm married for 12 years, Kelly and I, and have a kid. So we're, grown up, and it's, but really what I'm doing with Slide By You is that's what I do. I tour under Slide By You, and I'll go and I'll just pick up local musicians, friends from there, like St. John, Virgin Islands, and have a couple different bands I play with down there, Mother Goat and the Easy Riders. And
well, let's talk about that. When did you first go to the islands, and what brought you there? And
when Slow Moses broke up in '97, I moved down to Orange Beach, lived there for a year, and then I met this couple that had a sailboat, and they asked us if we want to do a 6-month cruise around the Caribbean. And so we started looking up all these islands, and we fell in love with St. John. And then 6 months into planning it, the couple got divorced. The boat got struck by lightning.
Oh my God.
And so we just said,
we're
going to do it. Yeah, we're going to do it anyway. And we moved, packed my Suzu Trooper up, moved and drove to Fort Lauderdale and shipped the Trooper with all our stuff out of there. Got to St. John, and then we were there on a 6-month lease, and I ended up staying 3 years. She left after a year and a half. And it was the best thing she ever did for me was bring me down there and then leave me down there.
Cool.
Then I came back in 2002 and kind of had to. I had a little manic episode, and which I talked about on the Unhand the Monster, Pharrell Gibbs podcast.
Yeah. Go check out the Unhand the Monster by some of our other local celebrity musicians we love dearly, Pharrell Gibbs and Abe Partridge.
Yep, and I pretty much laid it out on that, but I ended up going to jail, St. Thomas, for public nudity, and
As you do.
it was a good time. And
Yeah.
but I came down, a friend of mine, Jared Warren, he plays with Mother Goat, and he brought me back in '04 and booked
Cool.
a duo tour with him, and then I've been going back pretty much every year, and I went 3 times this year. I'm going back in February to play the Windmill Bar Jam Fest, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Has a Charlie Tuna and members of Slightly Stupid, members of Railroad Earth,
Nice.
String Cheese Incidents, it's like a bunch of members of bigger bands coming down to play this festival.
Very cool. And when is that? What month?
That's March 5th through 7th
Cool. Very cool.
in St. John. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're talking about events. Let's talk about you've started multiple events, and one of the ones that showcase the music scene best, I believe, is the Slava Creek sessions. And you want to talk about how that started and what your kind of mission is? I know from the outside, or being somebody who's played it, it really feels like a showcase of everything good
Actually,
going on.
full circle, man. You were the first one, and really, you introduced me to Will Thompson, and they did, do the Panama City Beach Fest. And then we've been talking about, I've been wanting to do this since I bought the house in '07, but finally we were going to do the Panama City Beach thing, and then Hurricane Michael hit.
Yep.
And their house got messed up, so we did that. The first one was for them. And you and Abe and Harrison,
Yeah.
Lauren, Laurie-Ann,
Yep.
it was great.
But at this point, how many have you done? Because you've had
This is our
hundreds.
9th year.
Yeah,
so
you've had.
coming up on our 9th year, and we're doing our first 2-day spring festival this year, camping out, and it's called the Sandy Bottom Camp Out. And we got Phil and Foster and Donna and
Cool.
Jose on it so far. And we've got going to do a couple songwriter rounds
Very cool.
if you're available.
Let me check my calendar. Yes.
That'll be March 28th and 29th. I've got Rufus McBlack from Pensacola, a really cool band, like progressive band trio, like power trio. They're going to play Saturday night. And then I got a bluegrass band, Hetty Tendergrass from Florida. They're coming to open up on Saturday. And then Donna and Phil and Foster and Jose are going to open on Sunday.
Very cool.
And then we'll have a songwriter round, or 2 songwriter rounds.
Cool.
Yeah.
But so since that lineup is so eclectic, it just reminds me, one of the things that I think any fertile music scene has, and I think we're no exception, is the diversity. And I think maybe because we're a port city, or maybe because we're close to New Orleans, which is also a port city, you get a lot of different cultures coming in over hundreds of years. So therefore, the music starts to become a gumbo of sorts, as they always say. And I wonder if that just is naturally, obviously that's what you like. That's who you're booking at your, Slava Creek sessions. But I'm saying, you as an artist, do you draw on those consciously, or is it just like you just naturally flow out whatever's coming at?
It definitely flows. I try to make it eclectic and have different points of view, different styles on every set, and really just introduce all these people. I mean, Kathy Steele, Frog Pond, she's given us a lot of advice, and
Big love, Kathy.
playing her thing, Frog Pond, for years, learned a lot, and it's just really cool to have that melting pot of artists that are just sitting there together, just putting this situation together, impromptu, and just kind of, that's the way I feel music the most, really, is,
Awesome.
Really listening to other songs and trying to add a little bit of something in there, and.
Well, I just think as a fan of you, that's what I loved the first time I heard, like I said, Slow Moses when I snuck into the bar, but just all of your music since then as well. There is it's cool to see the Slava Creek sessions is a amalgamation of different styles that you like to listen to, but your music is also that way, just what you make. Because like there are a lot of people that go, hey, I want to make this song sound islandy, so let me do upstrokes because that's what reggae does. But like you live there, you were in it, so it's like when you do islandy things, it just seems so organically right. Like I don't hear that you did a conscious thing of like, I think this might be a nice reggae feel. You're just playing Ryan.
Yeah, it's always lyric based. The music supports the lyrics. Whatever mood I'm trying to present is the music supports that, and the message is is most important. And I'm working on making better music structure, better, a little, not just singing, playing a song with the chords, but putting more catchy writing parts, musical parts that
Yeah.
just make a hook. And haven't done that as much in the past. It's like lyrics and then support it. But
Well, that's perfect segue into the first card of our poker game, because I don't know if you're a poker player or not, but we're going to start with the flop. So if you're playing poker, the first card's the flop, or the first card's the flop. And so can you remember a song where you wrote it, you felt so good about it, you couldn't wait to get it out in front of an audience, but then you got there and it didn't quite hit as hard as you thought? Does not mean it's not a song you love, because some of my favorite songs have done this. It could be your favorite song you've ever written, but like you thought it was going to be the crowd banger, and then it was the kind of light golf claps when you were done.
Yeah, well, there's one song on the new record that Kelly thinks is a hit, and it's called "The Days We're Done Living In," and I really think it's the message is, it's about getting out of your head and really put yourself in other people's shoes, and it's more of the rocker of the album. This album is Americana, kind of country actually, and that's one I'll play sometimes. I think, man, this is killing, and
sometimes it does.
And it's hard to pull someone into a story about that, like when you're at a bar drinking and here he's talking about a story about being down, and
I think that's
you have to put yourself in those situations. That's my next phase.
Yeah,
is picking venues and getting myself into venues where the music is presented,
right, because
instead of just having music. Which hey, just like Mobile has a rich. I mean, thank God for all these venues that support live music.
Yep.
And I've been touring other places, and the scene is like you can't get paid.
Right. Well, speaking of that, that's interesting. Let's talk historically, because from my understanding, but correct me if you know differently, there was we've always had music here that was legendary. We had Wet Willie, and we had all these type things. Jimmy Buffett's from here, and things like that. Will the Bushman, yeah. But from my understanding, before I was doing music, in the couple of decades, the live music scene wasn't. There was always live music here, but it wasn't like it is now, where it's just every bar, restaurant, music. Like, it wasn't as prevalent. And I always tip my hat, because from what I understand, there were other people doing it, but Hank Becker really was the spearhead of kind of like, which to play his gigs, although it wasn't surely 100% selfless endeavor, because he was trying to work and be a musician, but what it did is pave the way for a whole generation of us to, when we started playing, have more opportunities to keep ourselves alive playing music. I don't know if if that's how you understand it, or you got a different perspective on it.
I've been doing it for 32 years, and Hank Becker is the guy, that everybody, just the attitude and everything. He was everything. And, I would like to say I followed his footsteps. He was the self-proclaimed king of the backyard circuit. And,
but like, I know you and I and Harrison, people of this, of our generation, we all were benefited by Hank's generosity, and like watched him and saw how he did. But I feel like sometimes he didn't even get the credit that he deserved, beyond his music, of what he did for the music scene.
For whoever's listening, look up Hank Becker and the Boogie Chillin' at Play. That's the best. I think it's still on CD, baby. But it's the best $10 you ever spent.
That's right. That's some classic Mobile music right there. All right. Well, let's. Why don't we play a song? You were talking about recording a bunch of new tracks.
Yeah.
You were talking about a single you had. Well, tell me about the recording. Like, how'd that go down?
Well, Rick Hirsch, he actually called me, which was pretty cool, about finishing some songs he had, and then so we just went out to the house and started doing. He had some riffs and recorded on our phones, and then the album's called Bama Drive-In, which was the idea of my uncle Mark Calmetti, my mom's baby brother. He's actually the guy who designs all of Callahan's and Mancy's t-shirts. He's designed all my t-shirts and over the years. But he said, man, you should write a album called Bama Drive-In. And then Rick had this riff, and I was just going at my house going, trying to write words to it, and then it just hit me, Bama, dun, 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 and it's just Bama Drive-In, and it's just about the old drive-in on Halls Mill Road.
Yep.
And
so that started the project.
Yeah, there was several songs that he had ideas for, and then I had a few, and we wrote like 4 or 5 songs together. Like he had the music and some of the lyrics, and then I would finish it, and then but Bama Drive-In, that was crazy how organic, it was. And
so is the whole project co-written, you and Rick? Is it all just half and half?
No, I wrote a lot of the songs myself, and then several of the songs he wrote.
Well, why don't we listen to one? What do you want to play?
Well, this one's called Sellout.
Cool.
And it's an old style country song, country waltz. And the story behind this was Kelly and I were in Mexico at Brandy Carlisle. Girls Just Want a Weekend. And Josh Timmerman, who's one of the Cloud9 organizers of the festival, and he's also Widespread Panic's photographer. Well, we were late one night. I was talking to him, and I said, "Who you got coming else, down here?" And he mentioned a few others, the Dead, and then he said Luke Bryan, and I laughed, and he goes, "What's funny?" I said, "Well, Luke Bryan, it's just so different from the other stuff." And he goes, "I ain't mad at it. He sells it out in 3 hours." And I was like, "You're right. Damn," and I just felt like a jackass. I'm sitting there making fun of one of the artists he's booking. It's really not a good look. And I said, it's just, his music is so, hokey to me and, upbeat and fun. And he goes, "Well, 2 of his brothers died when he was growing up." And I said, "Well, I did not know that." And I said, "Why didn't he, put out songs about that?" And he goes, "I'm sure he has plenty of songs about that. Just, the label, he's Luke Bryan. He's there to show people a good time. And maybe he just does this because he had 2 of his brothers die growing up." And that just made me just go, Jesus, stop your shit.
Right.
You can't hate or disrespect somebody for being successful.
Right.
There's plenty of other reasons, but honestly, that conversation just made me go, okay, roll it in here and stop judging other people. It's like, it's just not a good look.
That shows a lot of maturity to do that. I mean, I know it was like, we've all done that, put our foot in our mouth for being overstepping and going, why did I say that?
I walk with one foot in my mouth. No.
Well, here you go. Let's give it a listen. This is a Sellout by Ryan Balthrop.
Oh, and I want to say I just got Ricky Chancey on pedal steel. Ricky Chancey tours with Hank Jr. Mm-hmm. Got Donna Hall and Christy Lee and Hussey Hicks singing on it. Jeremy Giles Harlan-Alt from Pawpaw's Medicine Cabinet on guitar, Stuart McNair on keys, Red Young on keys.
So you got a Moby, you got John, the whole singing on your...
Patrick Kelly on drums on that one, and Joe Anderson on the bass.
All right.
And it's a full-on country song.
Well, here you go.
About selling out.
By Ryan Balthrop.
I'm a sellout, there ain't no doubt. I'm gonna get what's mine. I'm shameless, I ain't gameless, though I'm running out of time. So get the hell out, I'm gonna spell out another pointless rhyme. see you somewhere further down the line. Yeah, I'm a sellout. You ain't gotta shout, but if you want to, that's fine. I surely don't know what I say half the time. Let's just chill out, and I'll belt out another pointless rhyme. You can sing along this time. We can sell out together, just like the man got us here screaming with our fists in our hands. We can yell out, hey y'all, let's get together if we can. That we could all come to understand. Selling out, it's gotta be working for the man. Selling out, it's gotta be working for the man. Yeah, I'm a sellout, and I'm gonna sell out again and again. Just got so tired of living day to day, out to hand. Yes, I've lied, and I've been tried, and I'll take the stand. I ain't just living for myself, so I'm getting all I can. When I sing, do my thing, it's just a bird in the hand. It's so much better than working for the man. Let's all sell out, y'all, together, just like the men. They got us here crying with our heads in our hands. We can yell out, hey, come on, y'all, let's get together like we can. We should all come with a plan. 'Cause selling out, we gotta be working for the man. Selling out, I hope it beats working. Yeah, selling out, I heard it beats working. Selling out, it really means we're working for the man.
Oh man, I love it. I like how you channeled some George Jones in that.
Little possum.
Without being a Xerox copy. You're still Ryan, but I loved it, picking up on the classic country in it.
That's the idea. Is the lyrics are about selling out, and the chorus, selling out beats working for the man, and that's when the song took a turn. It was about me selling out, and then it became a song about
Luke Bryant.
Really about some other men that are selling out our country, and we don't need to get into all that. Roll Tide, Talladega.
All right, well, I think it's time to move to the next card in our metaphorical poker game. So now we're at the turn. So do you remember a time where, it sounds like from your first gigs that were sold out, it was going pretty well. But do you remember a time when you thought music kind of turned from being just a hobby to something you might be able to do more professionally?
Yeah, I mean, the first night I played, I knew this is what I wanted to do for a living, and but it's still a hobby, and it's always going to be a hobby, and it's just
Really?
been
Yeah,
a
that's
paid
interesting.
hobby. Because hobbies are something you want to do just to do, and
That's fair, because we would all do it whether we got paid.
I honestly don't think career best describes my journey so far, but I'm really trying with this album.
You provide for your family by playing music, so I mean,
I do.
however you want to look at
Well,
it.
Kelly makes more money than I do bartending beats, but maybe that'll change one day. But she's I'm very lucky. I mean, I have my wife who's the same schedule as me, but also just handles everything. And but as far as music, she handles everything, and I couldn't do it without her. What was it about the music?
Well, yeah,
career,
I know you played the first gig and it went gangbusters apparently, and that would have excited anybody to be like, I want to do this the whole time. But is there a point where you realize that you could do that and support yourself? You know what I mean? Like, how quickly after that?
Well, Slow Moses was a definite false signal of success, because we just, it was the first band I was in, and I went from,
And y'all were big,
literally doing karaoke to playing bigger shows around the Southeast, and we became pretty popular. And that was not a good start for me, honestly. It kind of diluted my sense of how hard it is,
right?
And because these guys, I mean, they were just tight, and we ran it really well. And since then I've just been doing my thing, and honestly, I'm just lucky that I'm so talented.
Well, you are. You are extremely talented. There's no doubt.
Soundbite.
Yeah, right.
No, my work ethic is not up to par with my creativity, honestly, and I'm really trying to be more diligent. Like you've always inspired me. With the way you write, and you really push it, and I want to be more like that. There's ideas of songs come out, and that's the lightning in a bottle. Is the easy part. I have thousands of one-liners. I'm sure you do on your phone, but the hard part is finding the supporting lyrics and stuff to support that brilliant whatever idea you had that made you go, okay, that's a song. And
to me, that's one of the things I love most about co-writing. It's not just to have more songs more quickly because two people are working on it instead of one. It's that something, this is firework. I have something magical and powerful here, and I've run to where I pause. Well, it might take me 6 months to finally work through the weeds and figure that out. But if you get the right co-writer for the right thing, then they just grab the stick and start running with it. And you go, yeah, that. And then you're manufacturing authentic inspiration. That's why I'm like, how do you sit down and write with blank pages? Like, well, that's not really what I'm doing. We're throwing out those things. And when somebody takes your seed of an idea and you watch it explode, it reminds you of, like, now you can fully see that thing and you want to just take off running.
It's like a relay race. Yeah. It's like, I've had a couple experiences like that with, one of them, I got several songs out of this St. John Songwriters Fest. We did one, Kat and Alan that owned the Beach Bar. They started the Beach Bar in St. John. They had a festival in 2006 where we had 25 songwriters from all over the place, and we wrote and recorded 50 songs in a week. And I know you do a lot of stuff like that. That was the most I've seen, where, wow, songwriting, co-writing is just powerful. Because when you hit a wall, then someone comes in and just boom, and just like you said,
The tough thing with songwriting for me is that for all the magic that we already talked about of like how exciting and great it is to see your ideas that you were stumbling over to take flight, you in order to get that amazing feeling, you have to be willing to break a few eggs, because there are going to be times where you gave the wrong idea to the wrong co-writer or whatever, or they just didn't see it, or they're too similar to you and you both ran out of steam at the same part of the idea. None of that's wrong, and neither person is bad. It just and the song got crushed, and then that idea that has power just became something in a folder. And that sucks when that happens, because we really care about these ideas, but you got to realize I'm going to have 1,000 more ideas. either revisit that with that person later or just go next and go. And the reward I have found from doing that is just, immeasurable. So it's like, it's worth the ones that flop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and some of really the best songs for me are the ones that just, come right out, like, and it don't need much work. But I just, if I really listen to, and if I apply my mind to writing all the time, I'll be like Rain Man, writing every damn thing down, and it's exhausting, and I have to stifle it, and then I feel guilty, and it's just a damn vicious cycle of, it's a curse. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse to be a songwriter, because I know I've written songs that have helped other people. I've definitely written songs that have helped me get through things.
What else do you want with that? Come on, that's the epitome. That's the ultimate, the apex.
The ultimate thing is I'm writing a song about how I feel, and it's hard to write a song like that without forcing your opinion on others, and I really try now to leave things open for interpretation, little, lyrical, just openness, not slamming my dang, idea in your face. I think that's the beauty of music and how it's unifying and universal, is that it's left open for interpretation,
Yep.
I had a friend that said, Way Down Low's, the song about getting up after getting down, and there's a lot of songs about that. But a redemptive song, or redemptive writing, and that stuck with me. And she said, Jackie's girl said this, she said, you present a problem, and then you present an attitude, which presents a solution.
Very cool.
And I was like, wow. And that hit me. And that was based on a song I wrote, that I didn't even kind of pick up on, just the simple, idea of presenting that way. And that's what I try to do every time. I present some kind of, maybe a problem or a conflict or something, and then the attitude that gets you through that. And you turn it positive.
That's so great. That's some of the best songwriting advice I've heard, because usually they present the problem and then present the solution, but like, no, present the attitude and then let the person create the solution in their mind or their life. Or both.
And leave things open, sometimes leave a question, cliffhanger, don't just close out the song and that's it, you're done with that. Like, I like leaving stuff a little bit open. I don't know. It's a strange finesse kind of thing that I try to do.
Well, how about this? Is there a song in your catalog that you can think of that does that exceptionally well that you would be willing to play for us live here today?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's do it. What's the song?
This one's called Blow This Dust Away, Eric. It's about cleaning out your attic, so to speak. There's an old picture hanging up in the hall that serves nothing but to recall a hurt that I have lived in my past life. I stumble past it every damn day. It never looks back at me the same way. And oh, how the dust has settled on this old picture frame. From a moment in time I've long outlived, there's not another second I'm willing to give to a memory that only seems to bring me pain. 'Cause it's a beautiful day, I'm feeling fine, my soul's intact, I've healed my mind and my heart is getting better, some would say. I'm taking this picture down off my wall, look at it one last time to recall my love for yesterday. I can't have it hanging around, still brings me down. Life ain't supposed to be lived this way. I'm taking this memory down out of my mind, gonna look at this picture one last time before I blow it away. can't take it to my grave. I'm gonna blow this dust away. Oh, I won't take it on my way. Blow this dust away. Regrets, intentions, through space and time, too painful to mention. Is it all by design? The time has come and the time has passed. I'm living every day like it's my last. I hope they're longer than the distance in between the things we do and who we are, what we say, what we truly mean. If it don't matter to you, guess it don't matter to me. I've still got love for yesterday. I can't take it to my grave. There ain't no time for yesterday. I'm gonna blow this dust away. It's a beautiful day. Yes, it's a beautiful day. I'm feeling fine. My soul's intact. I've healed my mind. My heart keeps getting better, come what may. I'm taking this memory down out of my mind. I'm gonna look at this picture one last good time before I blow it away. No, I can't have it hanging around, bringing me down. Life ain't supposed to be lived this way. I'm taking this picture down off my wall. Look at it one last good time to recall my love for yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Studio H2O.
I love it, man.
Coming out.
And you hit it right on the head because, you know, in that song you have the problem of holding on to the past too tightly, and so that's the problem. And then you want to take the picture down off the wall, and you can tell that the person feels better about doing it, but you don't know what tomorrow's bringing. It's just gonna get to tomorrow with a different attitude, and then you get to fill in the blanks for that. And I think that's great.
You just got to keep going. You got to keep going. That's all there is to it. Keep going.
And Ryan and his music keeps going. Thank goodness, because we wouldn't be nearly as bountiful a music scene without you, buddy. I mean that very sincerely.
It means a lot to me, brother. And likewise to you. You're one of the main ambassadors of Mobile music. And
thank you. I'm proud of what we have here. And that has a big part to do with you.
We really love you because you don't stay around here taking all the gigs. You get out there, keep so I can have my gig. You know what
I mean? You're welcome. I don't know how to take that. Anyway, let's get to the next card in our poker game, which is the river. So in this segment, we're going to talk about. Let's just say you're going to go down to your honey hole in the river, wherever, Mobile Delta or
Slava
Dog
Creek.
River, Slava Creek. There you go. You're going down there. You get to take one person with you fishing. Who's it going to be?
Honestly, man, I'd love to take old Hank Becker fishing.
Yeah, man, that's a great one.
I'd love to take you fishing. Shit.
Well, we can do that. You don't even have to dream that. We can just make that happen.
I mean, we just walk out in the backyard, bull brim.
That's it.
I would, John Prine. I don't know, dead or alive or
whatever.
Everybody.
I mean, there's no rules to this,
There's
really. You
rules.
could say, I want to take my granddad fishing because he's great at fishing. Whatever. But I like John Prine and Hank Becker. That'd be
John Prine or, my dad. probably John Prine be a little more feasible.
Make
no,
that
I'm just I'm just joking, Dad.
Let's. That's a good little fishing little trio to take with you. John Prine, your dad, and Hank Becker. Yeah, man.
And like Bill Hader, you know. I just like that guy, the comedian.
Yeah. So
I just
who do you think catches more fish out of the four of you?
Hank.
Probably. Yeah.
Absolutely, Hank. You know, Hank told me that two of his three favorite things to do was play guitar and fish. He never told me what the third thing was.
See, he's a perpetual songwriter. He's leaving a little up to the imagination.
Exactly. Never told me what the third thing was.
Big love to Hank. All right, well, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming and hanging in with us today.
Thank y'all.
I've had such a great time talking to you. Before you leave and we shuffle up for the next episode, I would like you to maybe tell us if you had to go all in and put your chips behind a Mobile area musician that you think deserves more shine than they're getting, or somebody the world should know about, or someone we should have on this podcast.
All right. Well, have you ever heard of the Red Clay Strays?
You know what? I have.
Because I really think they deserve more recognition.
You know what? That's a good...
Those guys. No, I've... obviously, those wrong. Guys are leading the way.
You're not wrong.
We're all very proud of those guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Fucking, it's been amazing to watch. People that have deserved more success.
Well, I mean, I just mean, like, who would you put your chips behind? It didn't have to be that specific. Like, who are some few people that you love in the mobile music scene? You know,
Simone French.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Molly Thomas, Emily Stuckey.
Yeah.
Ross Newell.
Yeah.
Josh Ewing.
Yeah.
Greg Fells.
All amazing. Everybody go listen to all
Pharrell
this.
Gibbs. His songs to me should be in movies. I mean,
I agree. I love Pharrell's music.
Christy Lee. I mean, there's so many people that are already in Johnny Hayes or people that they're doing it, and we're making it happen. You know, we're all and Red Clay Strays definitely put us on the map.
Yeah. So there you go. Go listen to all of the people that Ryan just listed. I promise you, verifiably, they're worth your time and effort.
I know there's so many.
He's just
we
writing
have such
the
a
entire
rich music scene that, and you know who you are. Keep going. Keep going.
That's right. One more time, big thank you to my friend, Mr. Ryan Balthrop.
Thank y'all for dealing with me. I appreciate you.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Dealing the Mobile Sound. Be sure to check out Mobile Bay Radio, where you can hear Ryan's music as well as music from all of our guests. And as always, thank you to Callahan's, and thank you to Will and the Bushmen for providing the intro and outro music.